Welcome, crypto fam, to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin long-term hodler behavior shift signals, unique market dynamic. I'll be breaking down the latest research as well as breaking news. Pakistan eyes crypto legal framework to boost foreign investment. And speaking of game theory, Dubai Land Department begins real estate tokenization project, expecting to reach over $16 billion by 2033. Also, Michael Saylor's Bitcoin strategy is a ticking time bomb, one expert warns. And quoting Michael Saylor, soon every billionaire will buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, and the supply shock will be so great, we'll stop measuring BTC in terms of fiat. Also, breaking news, Trump just gave a speech at the Digital Asset Summit, quoting him here, "Together we'll make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world." I'll be giving you all the highlights from this recent speech. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. So if you are new to the channel, important, smash the likes. Go ahead, subscribe. We're the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Then ring the bell. Turn on notifications to receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1939. I'm your host, JV. It's March 20th, 2025. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Should be able to see Coin 360 pulled up here. Bitcoin correcting some, down 0.5%, but maintaining just above 84,000 at the time of the live stream. XRP had like a 10% pump off the back of the news of the SEC ultimately retracting their appeal. So apparently they won, according to Brad Garlinghouse, but it was only a 10% pump, and today they're down 4%. Go figure, after a 5-year lawsuit. BNB is in the green, barely. Tron in the green, barely. But let's check out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap is sitting at 2.74 trillion. Bitcoin market cap, 1.667 trillion. We have 98 billion worth of volume over the course of the past 24 hours. And the Bitcoin dominance is currently sitting at 60.6%. Ether dominance sitting at 8.6%. And checking out top 100, crypto gainers past 24 hours, Bonk leading the pack, up a modest 5%, followed by Kava, up 5%, followed by Form, up 5%. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily. Safe to say 90% of the market correcting and in the red on the day. Zooming out on the monthly. Damn. 90% of the market wreck city. Unfortunately, be careful with the shitcoinery, broskies. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today we're 49, back neutral. Yesterday 32. Last week of 45, and last month of 47. And checking out the time chain calendar, we currently have 161,359 blocks until the halving of 2028, and we're currently on block height number 888,641, and you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,159 sats. So pick up the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. Now for our astrology for the broskies, a little TA. I'll also be pulling up the charts. Bitcoin price tags 2-week highs as the market bet big on the Trump crypto news. That's right. Here you're looking at a 4-hour chart. Bitcoin spiked to 2-week highs March 20th amid rumors that the U.S. government was preparing a major update to its crypto policy. Now, I'll be sharing all the details of what Trump actually announced at the recent crypto summit that was just taking place today. But anyways, Bitcoin currently consolidating near 86. Bitcoin benefited from a fairly cool Fed meeting yesterday in which officials opted to hold interest rates at the current levels after Jay Powell spoke. It was pretty bullish for the markets. Policymakers confirmed they envisage 2 cuts by the end of 2025. Jay Powell described inflation as having eased significantly. Bunch of bullshit if you ask me, but I mean, what do you expect? We do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance, and we are well positioned to wait for the greater clarity, he shared in the opening statement before the press conference, which followed the rate decision. A wait-and-see approach was enough to relieve trouble risk assets, with Bitcoin joining the U.S. stocks and surging and finishing the day higher. The S&P ended up around 1% up for the March 20 session, adding 500 billion to the market cap, a mere half a trillion. And we have Arthur Hayes, former CEO of BitMEX, suggesting the Fed delivered a key signal for traders to add risk. He also says he believes the bottom is in at 77, which is cool. He was one of the only analysts calling for us to visit in the 70s when we were like above 100. So he nailed it. Much respect to just Blaze Arthur Hayes. But J. Powell delivered. QT is basically over. The next thing we need to get bulled up for reals is either the SLR exemption and or a restart of QE. Was Bitcoin 77 the bottom? Probably, he says, but stonks probably have more pain left to fully convert J to Team Trump to stay nimble and cashed up. And again, I'll be pulling up the live charts here shortly. Bitcoin traders nonetheless cared more about the potential change of the U.S. crypto posturing as whispers suggested an announcement could come tomorrow, March 21st, quoting the Kabisi letter. This would be the first major update since March 6th, when the National Crypto Reserve was established. Rumors state President Trump may be making a significant change to his strategy. When Trump signed the executive order to create the strategic Bitcoin reserve earlier in the month, markets stayed surprisingly cool as it emerged that the plan would not necessarily involve the U.S. buying Bitcoin. However, the latest daily close above the key resistance trend line caused for optimism returning quickly. Bitcoin only needs a rally of an additional 8% to position itself for the reclaim of the range above the end of the downside deviation. Is that a lot, considering Bitcoin is up almost 13% since the last 2-week lows? Let's discuss some of the Bitcoin long-term hodlers. You should be able to see on your screen here shortly, right here. Bitcoin long-term hodler behavior shifts signals unique market dynamic. According to this latest research I'll break down for you, Bitcoin's recovery comes as selling pressure amongst long-term hodlers, which are wallets that have held Bitcoin for at least 155 days, begin to wane. The binary spending indicator, which is a metric used to determine when the long-term hodlers are spending a significant proportion of their holdings in a sustained manner, shows a slowdown, while the long-term hodler supply is also beginning to rebound after several months of decline. This suggests there is a greater willingness to hold than to spend coins, and this perhaps represents a shift in sentiment, with long-term hodler behavior moving away from the sell-side distribution. Now, despite Bitcoin's drawdown of the recent weeks, this investor cohort continues to hold a large portion of their profits, especially for this later stage of the cycle, hence the smart money is the whales. This could suggest long-term hodlers may be expecting more Bitcoin price upside. Well, for fact, they're expecting more upside. This interesting observation may indicate a more unique market dynamic moving forward. Send it. Now, new Bitcoin whales are addresses holding at least 1,000 of the biddy, where each coin has an average acquisition age of less than 6 months, are aggressively accumulating. According to Crypto Quant, this signals strong conviction in Bitcoin's long-term outlook amongst the new larger investors. These wallets have collectively acquired over 1 million Bitcoin since November of 2024, positioning themselves as one of the most influential market participants. This sustained inflow highlights a shift in market dynamics, suggesting increased institutional or high net worth participation. And I'd expect nothing less, especially after Trump just fully embraced Bitcoin all in and ultimately just announced as of today that together we will make Bitcoin or United States the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get into that here shortly. Ki Zhangyu, Crypto Quant founder, says expecting 6 to 12 months of bearish or sideways price action. So naturally, there's mixed vibes amongst analysts. You guys let me know if you feel we'll likely pump, dump, continue trading sideways for the rest of the month of March. Holla at your boy. But anyways, let's just get right into our next story regarding Pakistan. Headline caught my eyes. Pakistan eyes crypto legal framework to boost their foreign investment. That's right. Pakistan developing a legal framework for crypto in an effort to attract international investors to the Central Asian nation. Quoting their Crypto Council CEO, Pakistan is done sitting on the sidelines. We want to have regulatory clarity. We need to have a legal framework that is pro-business. We want Pakistan as the leader of the blockchain-powered finance, and we want to attract international investment. 60% of the population is under 30 years old. We have a Web3 native workforce ready to build. Well, let's Let's send it. Earlier in the month, he was named chief advisor of Pakistan's finance minister for the management of crypto. Blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis ranked Pakistan 9th for crypto adoption last year, and this guy claimed there were up to 20 million Pakistani crypto users. He called President Trump the biggest bullish catalyst for the crypto history. Trump has moved to create a Bitcoin reserve and crypto stockpile. And again, I'll give you the latest updates from today's crypto summit, in which Trump did give a 3-minute speech. Trump is making crypto a national priority, and every country, including Pakistan, will have to follow suit or will be at the risk of being left behind. Well said. He was also appointed as the CEO of the Pakistan Crypto Council. Here's the guy here. This is just the beginning. Pakistan is open for business, and you can see the bills here, so that's good sign. And developing nations such as Pakistan and Nigeria have a lot to benefit from blockchain and crypto adoption, he said. By leveraging blockchain for remittances and trade, both nations can reduce reliance on traditional banking, lower 5 to 9% fees, and create seamless cross-border payment networks. And if you don't know, now you know. Here's the latest next story of the day, family, regarding Dubai. We just discussed Pakistan. This headline reads, Dubai Land Department begins real estate tokenization project. The Dubai government started the pilot phase of a project to convert real estate assets into digital tokens on the blockchain. It's called the Dubai Land Department, DLD, the government entity responsible for registering, organizing, and promoting Dubai real estate, announcing it started the pilot phase of its real estate tokenization project. The project was launched in collaboration with the Dubai Future Foundation and Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, Dubai's crypto regulator. The token launch makes the DLD the first real estate registration entity in the UAE to implement tokenization on property title deeds. That's right. In the announcement, the DLD said in the initiative, it's expected to drive growth in real estate tokenization. The government agency predicts the market value can reach over $16 billion by 2033. According to the agency, this represents 7% of Dubai's total real estate transactions. DLD Director General said in the announcement, real estate tokenization drives a fundamental change in the sector, quoting him here, by converting real estate assets into digital tokens recorded on blockchain tech. Tokenization simplifies and enhances buying, selling, and investment processes. The officials said this aligns with the DLD's vision to become a global leader in real estate investment and use technology to develop innovative real estate products. TokenVest co-founder and CEO Scott Thiel said the initiative is a transformative movement for the sector. Quoting him here, the initiative not only reinforces Dubai's leadership in blockchain adoption, but also paves the way for the more inclusive, liquid, and efficient real estate market. The executive working in a Vera-regulated RWA platform shared that DLD's new project would open Dubai's real estate market to global pools of investors. Tokenization is no longer a concept, it's a reality that will open up Dubai's real estate market to a global pool of investors like never before. And previously, Thiel shared that the UAE's proactive regulations paved the way for the country's real-world asset tokenization boom. The executive said there was a genuine desire from government agencies to develop clear guidelines for the sector. Let's move on to our next story. Here's the latest with Michael Saylor. Obviously, mixed vibes. Some people think what Michael Saylor is doing is going to be a disaster. Others think it's the most genius move of all time. So let's give you both sides, and then we'll discuss the latest from Trump, talking about United States will become the Bitcoin superpower of the world. So that was a very powerful speech he just gave at the crypto summit. And then we'll do a little bit of live Q&A. Again, welcome everyone just joining the live stream. So yeah, this is going to be looking at Michael Saylor from a different perspective here. Saylor's latest move to finance more Bitcoin purchases reignited a debate over the viability of the high-stakes approach, some saying it's too risky and dangerous. The company now called Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, announced to the world it'll issue a new perpetual stock, Strife, at a 10% annual dividend. While some see this inventive way to accumulate more Bitcoin, others warn the cash dividend obligations could become untenable if the Bitcoin prices plummet. Strategy announced the creation of Strife, which is described as a new perpetual stock offering available to institutional investors and select non-institutional investors. In its statement, the company explained the proceeds would go towards general corporate purposes, including working capital and the acquisition of Bitcoin, And let's just get right into Michael Saylor's little bullish quote right here. In a recent interview, he's quoted saying, "Soon every billionaire will buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, and the supply shock will be so great we'll stop measuring BTC in terms of fiat." I'm looking forward to that day. How about you guys? Let me know. According to Strategy, Strife carries cumulative dividends at 10% annually, with the first cash dividend scheduled for June 30th, 2025, then each quarter thereafter. Observers quickly noted how such a high payout could strain the firm's resources, given that its balance sheet is heavily tilted towards Bitcoin. That's right, they have roughly 500,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And amongst the early critics was Whale Panda, co-host of the Magical Crypto Friends with Ricardo Spagaghi, Samson Mao, and Charlie Lee. He argued a 10% dividend, which could amount to $50 million in annual payouts if Strategy raises $500 million, is too large given the company's structure. I've said it before that Saylor is going to bring the next Bitcoin bear market. This seems desperate. 10% dividend on $500 million translates to a $50 million annually, payable solely in cash. They don't have the cash. Another vocal critic, Simon Dixon, an ex-investment banker turned Bitcoin investor, known for backing platforms like Kraken, Bitfinex, and Bitstamp, ultimately a Bitcoin OG, drew sharp parallel between Strategy's bold move and the notorious collapse of long-term capital management in the late 90s. And although not equating the two scenarios outright, Dixon argued that offering such a high fixed dividend from insufficient dollar revenue resembled a next-level risk. He cautioned Saylor's announcement of a perpetual 10% dividend paid in dollars despite lacking sufficient dollar revenue, and operating with a Bitcoin-based balance sheet is next-level risk. This is starting to resemble, as I just mentioned, not everyone shares the dire outlook. Some industry figures insist Saylor's track record is growing Strategy's Bitcoin reserves, and the relative simplicity of the balance sheet compared to LTCM offers a substantial cushion. David Bailey, the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine, argues Saylor's personal commitment to Bitcoin should not be discounted. Saylor literally has more skin in the game than any human being alive. And if you don't like the stock, don't buy it. Simple and plain. He referred to the critics as ungrateful, underscoring how Saylor's public advocacy and corporate purchases that brought mainstream attention and considerable inflows to Bitcoin. Bitcoin analyst Dylan LeClaire also dismissed the LTCM comparison, calling it literally nothing like LTCM and implying the Strategy Bitcoin-backed balance sheet does not pose the same systemic risk as a heavily leveraged hedge fund dealing in derivatives. And we also have Preston Push, co-founder of the Investor Pod Network, offered a more nuanced take while he expressed reservations about the new issuance, questioning why Strategy didn't utilize the previous preferred issuance, which has an 8% dividend yield and optionally for payments in common cash. He viewed direct parallels to LTCM as over-the-top laughable. Pish floated rough numbers suggesting even if Bitcoin were to tumble 70% from the current level, Strategy could theoretically maintain dividend and coupon payments for more than a decade. As he shared here, if the price of Bitcoin went down 70% from here, which would mean, Jesus, like what, $30,000 Bitcoin, we still have 12 billion USD worth of Bitcoin on the balance sheet and 115 million in annual cash payments that need to be paid. That's approximately 12 years worth of payment inventory on the balance sheet, even with a 70% reduction in Bitcoin's value. Now, this math is extremely rough, and I put about 2 minutes worth of effort into debunking this, so take it for what it's worth, but I think your claim is hyperbolic. But what are your guys' thoughts regarding Saylor making this bold move? Do you think it is irresponsible? Do you think it is stupid, or do you think it's genius? They say there's a thin line between genius and I'm making up this quote right now. There's a thin line between genius and idiocracy. There you have it. Now for our feature story of the day, President Trump just gave his speech at the Digital Asset Crypto Summit in New York. And here's some of the highlights of what was discussed by the Trumpster. Very bullish, obviously. I quoted him from the speech. "Together we'll make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world." I repeat, Trump just said this morning, "Together we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world." And if you didn't watch the speech, again, it was less than 3 minutes. You can check it out here, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. And my favorite quote I just read to you from it. Also, reading some other quotes. my computer reset earlier, so it kind of messed me up. But President Trump executive order says we want as much Bitcoin as we can possibly get. We view Bitcoin as being digital gold. So again, President Trump's executive director, as you can see here in your screen, this guy right here, says we want as much Bitcoin as we can possibly get because we view Bitcoin as being digital gold. Can you say bullish? I also want to pull up some of the Max Keiser tweets regarding some of this stuff as well. My computer reset earlier during the stream, so it kind of messed me up a bit. I had all this prepped a little earlier, but nonetheless, shout out to El Salvador. That's their library. Totally next level. I was there a couple of months ago, and my mind was literally blown away. So in regards to this news, Trump states the strategic Bitcoin reserve will maximize the value of our holdings rather than foolishly selling them to get a fraction of their value. That was a part of the speech at the Digital Asset Summit. Max responded, U.S.-controlled IMF tells Trump to stop buying Bitcoin, citing volatility and instability worries threatening the U.S. economy. Sound familiar with the IMF also telling El Salvador to do the same thing, but that's not slowing down Bukele, so it'll be kind of interesting. It seems to be a little conflict there, considering the IMF in the United States, as the United States, as President Trump is pro-Bitcoin, and the IMF views Bitcoin as their enemy, the Achilles heel to the powers that be. Now, Max also even shared it here in regards to Senator Lummis calling for the USA to sell its gold to buy 1 million Bitcoin. Max wrote, the IMF has warned the U.S. not to sell its gold and buy more Bitcoin, citing volatility and destabilization risks. Here's my message to the IMF. Go fuck yourselves. How do you like those apples, IMF? But anyways, this article was also published regarding Trump's speech here, so we'll dive into this. Crypto will expand dominance of the U.S. dollar, according to the Trumpster. That's right. In New York, President Trump dropped a video into the crypto event on Thursday, amping up his pro-crypto sentiment with the assertion that crypto will spark economic growth, though he didn't offer any of the new policies attendees had hoped for he might announce, but there's also speculations that these announcements for crypto from Trump may come tomorrow, so I guess we'll soon find out. Mess around, find out. Crypto is as big as you can get, he said during the brief pre-taped speech at the Digital Asset Summit in Manhattan. His remarks were met by standing room only crowd as he praised crypto and Bitcoin, continuing a goodwill tour that has netted him financial and electoral support, obviously, from the crypto industry. Pioneers like you will be able to improve our banking and payment system and promote greater privacy, safety, security, and wealth for the American consumers and businesses alike. You will unleash an explosion of economic growth. Let's go. Trump noted his administration has already stopped selling seized Bitcoin and has brought together industry leaders with his government officials. Quoting him here, we're ending the last administration's regulatory war on crypto and Bitcoin, and that includes stopping the lawless Operation Choke Point. Operation Choke Point went beyond regulation, and I mean far beyond. Frankly, it was a disgrace. Preach, he said. It was in his second appearance at the crypto conference after a live campaign stop at the Bitcoin Nashville in 2024. But as of January 2025, all of that is over, meaning since his inauguration, the war on crypto is officially over. Trump has already signed 2 executive orders tied to digital assets since taking office for the second term on Jan 20th. Ironic enough, today we hit the all-time high of 1093 after previously creating a working group for digital assets, also establishing the Bitcoin reserve using the previously seized Biddy assets. Speculation ahead of Thursday's speech centered on whether he would address the banking or crypto taxes. As you know, there's been a lot of speculation since last year from the Trump family regarding them wanting to propose 0% Bitcoin and crypto taxes for capital gains for those cryptos created in the USA. Let me know if you think they'll move forward with that. Ultimately, though, he did not announce any new actions in particular, instead just reiterated what the administration has already been doing. He also said, it's an honor to speak with you about how the United States is going to dominate crypto and the next generation of financial technologies. And it's not going to be easy, but we are way ahead. Trump has courted the crypto industry over the past year, as you know, since taking office, continuing to show his support. He also followed through with some of his promises, including freeing Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the Silk Road. He did follow through and pardon him, which was a great good fate sign. He did establish the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, and he did sign some executive orders. So pretty lit. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Precisely, Warpaint. The Lummis bill is in the committee right motherfucking now. So yeah, the Lummis bill, which has been redrafted, they cut off where they would stop at 1 million, but they can purchase 1 million or more, which is a key distinction there. And Michael Saylor recently proposed, a speech at the crypto summit. I think that was on the 7th, roughly 2 weeks ago. And he proposed Trump to purchase up to 25% of the Bitcoin circulating supply, would be approximately 5 to 5.5 million BTC, which is 5x that of what Senator Lummis and the other senators are proposing. So you guys let me know your thoughts with some of that and some of the Biddy adoption. And can I get an FDIMF? Hashtag FDIMF. We don't need them, eh? And again, welcome everyone. This is the Q&A segment of the live stream. Stream number 2 on the day.